Hey folks, it's Pravus, and we are back with more Frostpunk 2. I really want to check out the new tales that were introduced with the Fractured Utopias DLC, because these are fun ways of changing up the story of the game, adding in kind of like a little mini campaign, some extra challenge, and of course, some new rewards. And the two specific tales that were introduced in this DLC are going to be the Doomsayers, where some people are convinced the end has come and they're going to try to destroy your city. Why? I don't know. We're going to find out. And then, of course, the one I'm the most excited about is the Plague. Find the cure before the deadly virus envelops your entire city. Now, for this playthrough, we're going to be playing with both of them simultaneously, which is a little bit dangerous, but I feel like the two should play off of each other quite nicely. For our starting communities, let's play with the Machinists, the Laborers, the Lords, and I've decided I'm going to play with the Legionnaires for our Zeitgeist faction. These guys should be pretty fun for us. Moving on into the next map, what do we want to choose today? We could go for the Forsaken Valley. Haven't played with this one for a while, seems pretty good to me. And I'm not going to be playing on Captain difficulty today. I don't even know how you get through these two tales. We're going to bump things down just a little bit, and we are going to be developing a metropolis today. All right, I think we're all set. But before we begin, I've got a really exciting announcement. I am going to be playing Frostpunk in real life next month in Poland. LARP Venture is a not-for-profit live-action role-playing production company that has created a new, brutal scenario themed around Frostpunk with the full support of 11-Bit Studios. And I am going to be there February 19th through 22nd. I am going to be living in an atmospheric ruin in that time, scavenging for food, chopping my own firewood, and sleeping on straw with rough woolen blankets in the brutal, bitter cold Polish winters. And of course, it wouldn't be Frostpunk if you didn't also have a load of psychological horror elements, as me and my team of survivors are going to try to last as long as we can without sacrificing too much of our humanity. I am really looking forward to this. I have met a couple of LARPers who went to this event before. They said it was one of the best LARPs they have ever done, so my expectations are very high. And if you think this sounds incredibly fun as well, here's the good news. LARP Venture has agreed that members of my audience can get a 20% discount, and there are still tickets available. If you do want to learn more, then make sure you go to larpventure.com, and if you do decide to buy a ticket, make sure you use the code Pravus20 in order to get 20% off. I think this is going to be an awesome once-in-a-lifetime experience, and if you go, you're gonna make some memories. I can't promise they're going to be joyful memories, but they're gonna be memories nonetheless. Once again, that's larpventure.com, use the code Pravus20, and it would be awesome to see you there. I am really excited about this event, if you can't tell. All right, welcome to the Forsaken Valley. Let's begin the game proper. Now, I don't know when the Plague or the Doomsayer's tales are going to kick in. I'm guessing it's around the time of our first Whiteout. Maybe, maybe not. But for now, we're going to be playing the game more or less as normal. Let's take a quick look at the map and see what we have to work with. Some prefabs, a little bit of coal over this direction. We've got some food, loads of prefabs over here. That's interesting. And plenty of materials. There's our logistics and so on. If I recall correctly on this map, there is, I think, yeah, something up over here. Habitable ruins. A fun feature to this map for sure, because what you can see is that there are indeed ruins built into the cliff face over here. If you build over here, you can get a lot of extra housing. Like a lot of extra housing. It does give a lot of extra squalor as well, but that's still pretty cool. So what else we got to work with over here? Some coal sources. There's a couple of geothermal vents spread around. A lot more materials, some infinite coal and food. Okay, I can work with this. Now, if you did not watch my previous video on Frostpunk 2, where we explored the Fractured Utopias DLC, you may not know one of the most interesting features to this game, and that is going to be the Utopia tree. You see, depending on which of the Zeitgeist factions you have selected, you are going to have a unique kind of talent tree looking thing here, and as you progress down the Zeitgeists, or the ideologies that faction prefers, you'll get points to spend, which gives you some pretty cool stuff. Every faction will start with a completely unique hub just for them, and they all do different things that can actually change up the way you play the game now. For the Legionnaires, I've never seen this one before. It looks like you can place it on any tiles and immediately frost break everything around it. Well, that's kind of nice. Also boosts up the temperature level in neighboring districts, and shelter goes up too. And then when upgraded, more stockpile capacity and even an emergency insulation ability to make the temperature level go up even higher. Wow. Okay, so this seems really strong. To win the war against the Frost, we can't just push the front forward inch by inch. We have to launch bold attacks far behind enemy lines. I'll leave it to the Legionnaires to treat this as some sort of a World War I simulator. So let's take a look at that hub real quick for the factions. There it is. Yeah, so this takes up 3 tiles, just like our previous experience. It's got a pretty hefty heat range to it, guys. Like, shockingly, not bad. Shockingly not bad at all. This could be really good around your housing. And I just had a thought. Wait, if this thing's able to frost break, can I get a logistics hub immediately? Ooh. I'm gonna place it, and we're gonna find out, but it looks like yes. Oh, we don't even have to frost break there. That's great! Okay, other things we know we're gonna need. Let's get the prefabs a-going. We'll get the coal over here as well, and I do know that I want to get this food. I wonder if I could place down these hubs, frost break stuff, and then just, like, demolish it to get half the resources back. Would that be a cheaper way of doing mass frost breaking? That might actually be ridiculous. We'll play around with that later. For now, let's make sure we get our housing set up, intentionally leaving space for some heating hubs if we so desire. And, of course, those development hubs for the Legionnaires. And right away, I also want to make sure we get ourselves a council hall so we can start passing some laws. And there we go. That's the very basic setup for our new city. If we can seriously start exploring the Frosts really early, that might actually change my build order up a little bit. I might want to focus aggressively on trying to explore the Frostlands and make it a little bit safer for me to travel. This could be strong. I just need to make sure we have enough workforce to keep sending out expedition crews. Let's get a prefab extraction district up and a-running. We can pass laws. So generally speaking, one of the first things that I like to pass is a law under the community service here so we can get ourselves some early prefabs. I find that to be very good, and then what we'll do is we'll swap over to the heat pipe watch not too later on, once I feel like I've got a really good economic position. Because there's 2 bottlenecks you'll have very early on, heat stamps and prefabs. I can raise funds periodically from these parties as long as they're happy with me, and they should be. So that solves a lot of heat stamp concerns, but the prefabs can really mess you up. Passing that law really saves your bacon. Make sure we also get a research institute right away. And for this, what we could do is go for things like coal mines and stuff. That's usually what I would do. But now I'm kind of wondering, maybe we want to go for the Frostlands. Maybe we really want to go for those scout headquarters early on so that we can reduce the territory threat level. And then we'll be able to explore like crazy. We got a little time before I need that, though. Just a little bit of time. So we could go ahead and work on things like sawmills, hothouses, and factories. And that wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up things like the factory. Seems a little bit crazy, but honestly, getting those goods dealt with kind of early on is very important. It does make it a lot easier to generate early heat stamps. Let's try getting ourselves a logistics district set up immediately. Oh, look at the temperature we're able to get out of this deployment district. This is strong, guys. I like it. It's like having a heating hub already. Gonna work on some more laws. Could work on goods, food additives. Not worried about that. Outsiders is usually really important to pick up early on. I want to go for the productive outsiders probably because you tend to get a better percentage of active workers, plus a little bit of heat stamps and so on, though our zeitgeist requires we go for all outsiders regardless. All right, I'll stick with this because it's thematically correct, but I tend to prefer the productivity. I like those heat stamps, man. Early heat stamps are good, but it's really important I have a lot of active workers. I mean, yeah, that's going to put pressure on my food and everything else, I'm aware. But, like, if we have a lot of workers, I can hopefully get through that. We've got our teams. Where can we explore? We could go over here and find some oil early on. Tempting. What else we got? We got coal down this direction. Okay, we'll start with the coal since that's what I need to survive immediately until I get a Generator 1 upgrade. Knowing where oil is good, and actually now that I think about it, there is no oil on this map, right? No, just geothermal. That might be a problem, because the Legionnaires are considered to be a progress zeitgeist, not adaptation. So they're not going to go for the adaptive generator, which means we're probably not going to be swapping around between things like coal, steam, and oil. We're going to want nothing but oil. That might be a problem. This actually might be one of the worst maps I could have picked for this now that I think about it. We'll make it work. I am going to go for the very aggressive early scout headquarters. Could go for, well, I was going to go for paid essentials to try and boost up heat stamps this way, but there's a unique law for the Legionnaires here. This is also a new thing with this DLC. So the Legionnaires have their own unique law to ensure every citizen's readiness for adversity. First aid kits will be issued with field rations and standard clothing. Fewer people injured from low temperatures. Efficiency goes down, but disease is decreased. Interesting. All pretty good. I much prefer the paid essentials here. Seriously, I do. Please just give it to me. Oh, good. They did. By one vote, but they did. Let's get an industrial district going very early on. I'll just take advantage of the fact that we're going to have all this heat. I mean, why not? It's great. Found a coal source already. This is going to help quite a lot. Though I will say, I'm pretty sure right off the bat, we're going to be limited here. If I recall correctly, normal trails can only have 250 resources traveling, whereas we want to produce 400. So unless we get a skyway, this doesn't do a lot for us. Or rather, we're kind of limiting ourselves. We could consider actually researching skyways and just invest in that right off the bat. Would that be too aggressive? Maybe. I might be willing to take that chance. Maybe. Okay, there's our oil. This does not need a skyway. We can connect this right off the bat, though that will take up some of my precious teams. We need to keep exploring and find more stuff as much as I can. More people could be useful. More materials, prefabs. Yeah, let's just keep looking around for a moment. We got a little time, but the temperature's dropping already. We do have another Utopia point I can make use of. This is the emergency installation. So I think the way that this normally works is some of these are upgrades you can buy for districts that are connecting to your special hub. So if we place this next to housing, for example, a hub next to housing, we could click on this, probably spend 100 prefabs, and temperature level goes up, which seems pretty good. Reinforced base materials demand greatly decreased. Might be good in, actually, you know what? We just built an industrial district next to a hub. This could be good. Possibly. Scout reassignment. So instead of doing Frostland teams, we produce food or coal. No, thank you. And then housing. Doubles this, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. We can adapt our districts for the Legionnaires and start producing local prefabs? That seems pretty good. We're going to do that. My problem is I'm already running out of workforce here. So, like, I'm already kind of limited in what I can do here. Let's go ahead and place down one of these deployment bases and see what we can get done here. So with this, yeah, we're increasing the temperature by a little bit. And then also a couple of extra shelters and stuff with this housing. Seems pretty okay to me. I'm going to place some of those down. Since I have no other workforce to really do anything with, I might as well start saving on fuel. I just need pops. That's what it comes down to. Give me population. And now that I've got skyways, I just need to save up a bit. And I think we'd be able to connect this. Yeah, this would solve my coal issues for a lot of the early game. Oh, but our rivals, the Proteans, have already formed. These guys kind of scare me a little bit. They're like, almost like postmodern in some way, or sorry, post-humans. Yeah, they really love having lots of prosthetics and stuff, adapting their bodies. But on the plus side, the Legionnaires are very, very loyal to me already. They are supporting the Steward and giving me extra guards. Okay, so as long as they're devoted, I have some guards to work with, 22 in particular. Probably won't need that for much, but I mean, it's nice to have. In the meantime, let's connect that skyway, dang it, I need the coal. And what's this, by the way? Ooh, the Legionnaires can do a raise prefabs ability, 8 per week. I'll take that, thank you. Now what should we do here? The Legionnaires want us to have volunteers at their deployment bases. We could spend money to get them some more party members. Or we can mandate it at the cost of tension. Tension? I would say I don't mind. But this could get out of hand very quickly. It depends on how bad this is. That said, more members for the Legionnaires is good. I think I'm just going to do voluntary stuff and just incentivize it with money. I was tempted, very tempted to go harder on that, but I don't think that would be wise. I have to play at least a little bit cautiously here. I don't know what these new tails are going to do to me. It could be a disaster if I have too much tension. Who knows? So what would happen if we started adapting a few of these districts here? So we can do this. Yeah, it costs me a lot of prefabs. It would take a while to pay for itself. But this is a way of boosting up the Legionnaires a bit. It's also kind of a cool way of just changing the aesthetic of your districts. Everybody has their own unique aesthetic now. Different architectural styles and whatever else. Let's see what happens. And it's very red. Okay. I mean, kind of red and blocky. Very orderly. Very stalwart. I like it. What do we find here? We already found the food colony? Oh, wow. That was pretty quick. It's not far from our city at all. Interesting. Okay. Another oil source. This is going to make me feel a lot better. If I can get enough expeditionary forces to have 2 different oil sources feeding into the city, that should be enough to get us going for a very long time. I hope. At least enough to get us through our first whiteout. What's this? We have another unique law here, but this one's from the Proteans, and it looks highly unpopular. Why? To limit disease outbreaks, we'll purchase the blood of hardy citizens and re-inject it into the willing recipients. Wow, okay. Immunity blood transfusions? Creepy! Yeah, the Proteans are fun. They're scary, but they're fun. I just want to confirm, by the way, this new district is producing... Yeah, it is producing some prefabs. Interesting. Yeah, it's very expensive, but, like, this would be a pretty effective way of just getting a lot of consistent prefabs without needing a lot of factories. It's not bad. Oh, there's the notification of the first whiteout, though. 80 weeks. Okay, so this is where you have to really start thinking about how we're going to get a lot of fuel and how we're going to get a lot of insulation. That would be important for me. I really need more population here, though. Can we just get some growth? Thank you. Good timing. So another deployment base over here would help with some of the heating. At least a little bit. Maybe not an absolute ton. But I'd be able to keep building around it and it wouldn't be so bad. I really need to get more logistics. So tell you what, rather than frost break all my way over here, let's do the same thing we did before. More logistics hubs right over here. And the Proteans are already protesting. This was somewhat predictable. I don't have quite enough guards to squish this, which sucks, so okay. But the Legionnaires have indeed rallied to build up some support. Give me those heat stamps, please, for God's sake, give me more. Now we'll counter-protest, knock these guys down, stop it! There might be some injuries, but I'm sure it's fine. We have another available Utopia tree point. What would I want, I wonder? That insulation is tempting. What's Iron Lung do? All affected communities will suffer less disease from squalor. Could be handy, but I think I'll take the emergency insulation for now, just in case. I don't know if it's necessary, but I'd like to have it. So I assume that means if I go to an adjacent district, then yes, I can spend 100 prefabs to boost up that temperature level. Okay. So it's basically the same idea as doing some insulation, but we can stack it. This doesn't cost heat stamps, but it does increase squalor. Uh-oh. And we've already found our first of the tales. Sickness at our doors. Steward, a small group of Frostlanders approached the city, their journey ending abruptly at our very doorstep due to a mysterious sickness. Barely walked straight, the skin was peeling off their faces, died right then in front of us. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Do we warn the citizens to be cautious, or do we tell no one? It could be nothing. So, I think we tell no one, because why make this extremely dangerous and cause a panic over nothing? Especially with that kind of a description. On the other hand, this is Frostpunk. I know if I don't do this, I'm gonna pay, but we're gonna tell no one. We're gonna tell no one. Oh, wait, okay, now we definitely have a problem. Look at the mission objective. Locate patient 0 somewhere in the Frostland. Okay, we are now making oil. We're about to have 200 oil coming in. All right, so the timing of that's pretty good. We got a little bit of time before we have the next whiteout hit. It is a mine flooding whiteout, so coal extraction will be more or less disabled anyway. Good thing we're not going to be relying upon that, huh? Let's make sure we get that generator upgrade ready to go before the whiteout hits. Yeah, see, this is where if you're adaptive, you really could do lots of different fuel sources. The way things are set up right now, just oil, nothing but. We ever run out, we're doomed. And that's why I'm kind of worried about this map. No local oil sources means I am entirely dependent on the Frostlands. Or, the other thing we could do is consider eventually liquefying all of our coal and turning that into oil too. That could work. Wouldn't even be a bad idea. The heat dispatcher could be a thing we do, just connected in these districts. Yeah, that's an option. One thing I do like is going for efficient circuits. I know it's technically the wrong zeitgeist, but your generator can only ever allocate so much heat. So reducing that just means I can actually hit more districts with the amount of heat that I've got. That's generally good in all cases. Like, there's never a bad time to have that. Knowing that the plague is on the way, by the way, I think maybe we should consider passing some sort of a hospital law. Feels like that might be really, really good for us. Like, I may not need it right now, but I'd rather have the option to place down a hospital and not need it than find out the plague has killed half my population. That doesn't seem like an unreasonable concern to me. What else could I really use here? What else? We could go for those coal liquefactors, but those require industrial districts. I don't know if I have the population for that. That's kind of my issue, is I need to find ways of getting more population. More than anything else. More workers. I don't think that doing unions will work well for me, but maybe labor arbitrage. It's not going to get me more population, but at least a bit more efficiency could be good. Or we could go for some hubs, like the air transport hub. That is a lot of material costs, but I mean, like, maybe this could be good. I don't know. Just going to do labor arbitrage for now. Try to just get some more efficiency. Let's definitely swap our laws away from getting the prefabs and instead get the heat pipe watch. 5 prefabs is nice and all, but I'm finally getting my footing there. That's not an issue. But 1 temperature level in all housing districts, solid. That'll save me some serious fuel, which is good because I am rapidly running out of coal. So I hope we're ready for oil pumps because that's what we need now. Let's build it. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to be consuming not very much oil to start, but that oil does turn into quite a lot of heat, so that's phenomenal for us. This is interesting, by the way. I assumed we'd only be able to use the emergency insulation if we were connecting up to one of our deployment hubs. That apparently is not true. We can do this anywhere. So it's literally just a free form of insulation that can go to any place. Okay, well, that's nice. Okay, economically, we're looking really good right now. Everything's green across the board, making a good amount of heat stamps and prefabs. Squalor's a little bit of an issue I'll deal with, but that's okay. Plenty of fuel stocked up, not taking up too much. Insulation across the board. Whiteout's about to hit. Wish I had a larger stockpile of things like food. That would make me feel a lot better about us. But, you know, it's, well, you can't always get what you want, now can you? I'd like to get some additional points for my Utopia tree. What am I lacking in right now? It's a quality. Or no, sorry, not quality. Tradition. That's what I'm thinking of. I am almost always behind in my 3rd Zeitgeist beyond anything else, so if there's anything I can do for laws or research that would help, we should consider doing that. Maybe go to the youth. There we go. Dutiful youth. Tradition and more workers. That's the sort of thing I like to see. And there's the whiteouts. All right, everything's looking bad for a second. So we can take a look at our temperature here. So I can increase some of this manually. The question is, do we need to turn off a few of these districts? Maybe. So like this extraction district right over here is just, it's going to cost too much. It's just going to cost me too much. I've got materials. We can live without it for at least a little bit. No big deal. Well, let's make sure that nobody is living in frigid conditions at the very least. Protect the food, keep the fires of industry going, and we are in pretty good shape, actually. Hey, not bad. So do we think we'll be able to survive as things currently stand? Well, we're out of materials now, so that's going to hurt my goods. Just gotta survive for a few weeks, though. Can we do that? Probably, but let's just see. Can I turn this on and then have enough heat to still make this work? The answer is yeah, actually. I've got a pretty solid stockpile. I think we're okay. I know, by the way, we haven't even had to use... oh, wait, what did I just broke a promise? Oops. Anyway, yeah, I haven't even had to use the overdrive so far in this whiteout. I think that's a very, very good sign. Almost done with the whiteout. There it goes. All right. Everything's looking pretty good for me. Everyone's nice and toasty. Yeah, we're good to go. All right. So with all of this done, I now get a couple of extra Utopia tree points since we focus so much on tradition. So what do I want here? We could recast prefab. Spend 300 prefabs to get 40,000 goods. Wow. Doesn't seem half bad, I'm not gonna lie. Seems pretty darn good, actually. Okay. We could go for Iron Lung we talked about. What's all hands on deck? Workforce for efficiency to increase dramatically. That could be pretty solid, depending. What's collective responsibility? All the bad things are reduced in the cost of tension. Drill the citizens. Efficiency is increased for every 500 legionnaires. I've got quite a few. So that could be really great. Reinforced base I could see being good if I have material issues at the cost of prefabs. Extend the base reach so our hubs can reach even further. I like that idea too. I like that idea a lot. Reinforced stockpile scaffolding. That's just stockpile capacity. I don't know if I care that much about that. So yeah, basically what happens I think with the Legionnaires is it gives you ways of generating some extra prefabs between their special abilities and the housing. And then you can spend prefabs in ways to really make yourself strong. Doesn't seem bad. It really doesn't. I'm going to go for reinforce base and extend base reach, mainly because that might have an impact on how I continue developing my city. Now, what I don't know is this whole reinforced base thing, I'm only demanding 35 materials. Like, what does this do exactly? Does this just reduce my 35 down to like 5? In which case, oh wow, I'm saving 30 materials. Who cares? Or is it going to impact everything around it? Because then it's really good. Anyway, we have lots of prefabs. I'm going to extend some reach. Uh-oh, what's this? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, people are experiencing unsettling symptoms. They don't know what's coming. I didn't warn them there was a disease. We were hoping it wouldn't be an issue. It's an issue. Yep, we are now contaminated. The population may be infected with an unknown virus, turning individuals into a new type of absentee called the contaminated. They're unable to work, they do not recover, and they will die without a vaccine. Oh no. So, needing to find patient 0 out in the frosts. You weren't kidding about that, huh? That's gonna be really important? Okay. Well, in that case, let's start exploring as aggressively as I can. Anywhere, any direction. It's gotta be out here somewhere. Another Utopia point. Do we want to go for the stockpile? No, I think I want to go toward... I mean, Drill Citizens is tempting, but, Scouts is worthless to me to start. Still, 8 guard squads would be enough to get me to 30. Then I could start putting down protests. Like, that's really good. Really good. And I don't have the workforce to spare on all hands on deck, so alright, we're gonna go down this direction. Disease outbreak just occurred. Alright, if an outbreak occurs in a housing district, it's going to escalate, spreading to a portion of the population. Relocating inhabitants by shutting down the district will accelerate the spread. So don't do that, okay? The virus spreads more rapidly to nearby warm, densely populated areas, especially if there's disease and squalor. So weirdly, you're telling me that I probably want to make the entire city colder so that the disease doesn't spread as effectively. Well, that's a problem because I'm so well insulated, it's going to be warm no matter what I do. Uh-oh. Steward, a grim reality has fallen upon us. A mysterious sickness has gripped the city. Now the terrified citizens of the Central District plead for evacuation. At first we thought our doctor had a cold, but then the itching scratch started. She won't stop scratching. Oh no. Do we evacuate? If we do that, then yeah, I mean, far fewer residents of the Central District will be at risk. But if we do that, I'm pretty sure it spreads crazy, right? Everything they said makes me think that if we do this, the odds of us spreading it everywhere increase. We can't evacuate. You have to stay put. Oh no. What can I call the virus? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, Plague Inc. has indeed arrived. I'm gonna call it the Glaciophage. That seems good. So we need to research a plague vaccine, and then start producing vaccines in the industrial districts. Funny thing, I don't see actually anything in here that says that we now need to find patient 0 anymore. Maybe you could have a different result. If you did find patient 0 first, you could develop the vaccine before it infects you. I'll bet you something like that would be true. That'd be interesting. Well, we have to go down here and start working on that plague vaccine immediately. The Proteans want to do tissue cultures. Huh, okay, could cause injuries. Or we could do this at a moderate rate with an animal serum. Injuries, though. Just injuries? Not deaths? If it's not deaths, I'm actually kind of curious. This might be good. 46 weeks for research? Holy crud. Screw it, we're desperate. I'm going for the tissue culture. I know that it's sort of against the theme, but we're gonna do it. And then we're gonna speed up the research. Twice. Losing a load of trust. Yes, but it's also gonna increase the speed dramatically. Now it's 20 weeks instead of 46. I call that worth it. Disease is starting to spread, by the way. Yeah, proximity to the Glaciophage is gonna cause an issue here. Could spread around a lot of hospitals. Don't have the workforce for it, though. We need another population growth, which will happen very soon. There it is. All right, we need an industrial district where I can start producing more of vaccines. And yeah, another hospital seems wise. Got another Utopia point. Go to collective responsibility. That actually is good, because that's going to help reduce the impact of all these negative statuses. How many population do we have in the Legionnaires now, by the way? They're 31% of the population. Over 5,000. Yeah, so we should be able to get a pretty good amount of extra efficiency once we get to drill citizens. I'm looking forward to finding out how good that is. And now, guess what? Right as soon as everyone's afraid of a certain plague, a new community is starting to take shape, and they intend to destroy the city. What's even the point, Mom? Oh boy. Oh boy. Despair, little people, for your doom approaches! Now, something we could do, if I wanted, I can go over here, we can see districts allow for something else. Organize filtration posts. So, wait, if I have a load of guards, like a load of them, could I organize enough posts around my central district that nothing could spread? Because there's only 4 things making contact. So are you saying I only need 40 guards in order to prevent the disease from spreading at all? That would be good. I'm going to organize these filtration posts. It doesn't seem there's really a downside, except for, well, okay, it reduces the speed of research. That's a risk. That's a big risk. I really want to get this done fast. I don't like it. Let's get drill citizens now that I have more tradition since I passed dedicated motherhood. All right, so that's more guard squads. That gives me options. The outbreak will occur in 17 weeks. 10 weeks until the vaccine can start getting produced. How am I going to get enough population to get myself another industrial district dedicated just to producing the vaccine, though? Oh, boy. Found the materials colony, at least, so that's a thing. Really care about the fuel colony, though. And there's the Doomsayers joining the council. Okay. So, wait, I didn't realize this is how it's going to work. It's literally another faction. Their existence is an issue. We have 6 factions this game. 20% of the population joined. Why? That's ridiculous. What's wrong with you people? All right, so I gotta do things against these people. That looks... Does this character look like something straight out of The Acolyte, by the way? You know, that failed Star Wars TV show? I'm just saying, she kind of looks like that. Anyway, discriminate. 47 guard squads. Tension increases, but we reduce their members. We can jail them. We can hold delegates, I guess, with the secret police. And then we can commit them into lunatic asylums. Oh, guys, this is getting dangerous fast. And let me guess, they're gonna vote against literally everything I could possibly want, aren't they? Oh, I'll bet you they are. They do not work, they do not contribute heat stamps, they increase crime, they always vote nay. Dude. So avoid problems in the city, and that's the only way to get people to not want to join them. They're like, what do you mean the city's falling? Everything's fine. Come on, vaccine, come on. All right, we got it. All right, so we've researched the vaccine. Step 1, done, good. But now I have to get vaccine lab production. Oh God, and this still takes a bit, doesn't it? Do I actually need to have anything? Hang on, if I go to this and say, oh, okay, no, I don't actually have to research anything just to start working on the vaccine. Now, because it's the protein side, this might cause some issues, but we can do this. Well, this research would only help me then if I have a pharmaceutical laboratory, which I don't have unless I go for this technology. So, yeah, pick this up and we can go fast, but that's 2 techs I would need, as opposed to the other option, just generally vaccine byproducts. Pharmaceutical testing and laboratories passively produce more vaccines. There's also plague relief over here. Contaminated absentees die less frequently. Or distribute gear which makes a group temporarily immune. The thing is, I really need guards. Because I feel like if I had guards, I'd be able to prevent the spread of the disease. So, like, this feels like it actually might be a better option. I might be crazy on that. Well, I say that. I'm now currently building a new... Well, wait, no. I was going to say, I'm building some new housing districts, but they're not connected here. So if I can block these 4, can we just stop the disease in its tracks? That would be so crazy. And then even then, with the guards, I'll be able to start doing things to the Doomsayers. By the way, if we have enough vaccines, I guess we can start making specific groups immune, which could be useful. The scientists apparently are having a breakthrough. All right, so can we save the contaminated? How do we want to deal with this? Prioritize the working adults? Or prioritize the children. Oh, God. I feel like if I lose my workforce, it doesn't matter and the children are all dead, right? Oh, God. Okay, we're doing that, but I don't feel good about that. How quickly can we build these things up? We have 3 weeks. 1 week. Doomsayer influence. Yes. Whatever. Hang on. Let me finish building these and get some freaking guards. Oh, we have a taste of impending doom. Reports of their group on Westminster are highly concerning. Their constant presence in the street and erratic behavior are unsettling the workers. When they're not spewing prophecies of ruin, they just stand there watching. That's scary. Condemn them? Yeah, no, we can't let them gain members, but tension's going up from it. Anyway, all right, we now have 54 guards. Hold on. So can we now filter, I don't care about vaccine speed, because that's done. Is this effectively one giant quarantine? Did we do it? Guess we're gonna find out. It probably won't be enough if we're honest with ourselves, only because the people who are living here probably are off working in different locations. But it might contain the spread a little bit. Nope, it's spread over here. Really though? It's not adjacent, don't you lie to me. It just looks like it is super duper close. Whatever, I guess it could have been worse. So maybe this wasn't that bad. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna retrieve all of the guards here, because we got a lot of them. Can I then go to the Doomsayers and say, let's discriminate against them? Yeah! Build up that tension! So they're down to 15%. Keep doing that, and eventually they're gonna have to give up, right? I'm getting very nervous, by the way, about our oil sources. This one's now below half. I haven't found the fuel colony, and without that, the city may not have a chance to build up its own fuel supply. Unless, after this whole vaccine thing is done, I start liquefying a ton of coal, which I could do. Tension is boiling, dude. Whoa, 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 what is happening here? Oh my god. I'm gonna try handing out some vaccines, make some factions happier with me. The lords were getting a little bit on the low side. This tension's looking really bad, though. Condemning the Doomsayers really hurt. And their influence everywhere is causing huge issues, too. Oh, no. Oh, boy. I might need ways to let the tension kind of burn off some steam. I'm thinking Fight Club. Or better yet, we probably should just find more ways of getting rid of, like, the disease and stuff. Yeah, more hospitals. That would make sense. But we're about to start running out of food. And I don't really have much left on this area. This map is kind of running out of food, actually. Oh, God. Wow, you look awful. All right, workers are now prioritized for vaccination. Yep. Now we have Doomsayers spreading further. Maybe I shouldn't have had both of these on at the same time. So you can try to push these guys down. We're doing a campaign against them. It takes 20 weeks, though, which is a little bit of time, unfortunately. More population. Here's an irony. I am growing my population probably faster than I'm able to produce vaccines. Like, there's a good way to get killed. We are definitely in boiling over territory. All right, I've got to get the Fight Club. The Fight Club might actually help a little bit. Dude, this is actually really tough. I'm not gonna lie. This is getting really tough. Why is my housing getting so much worse? It's because we don't have enough population going around to actually maintain the homes, right? Yeah. I'm gonna start building some housing up in these areas. I know there's squalor and stuff, but, like, we can get a lot of extra shelters, plus some heat. And then this hopefully will end up being a pretty good spot for us to just get a whole bunch of new residences away from the outbreak. 400 people just died of the glaciophage. You know what? That's less vaccines I need. Frickin' heck, where else can I pull some workers? We don't have enough for everything here, dude. I can't produce vaccines fast enough, and we're gonna start running out of food here. Okay, well, at least we got rid of the Doomsayer influence over here, so tension's starting to drop. That's good. I'm lost here, man. I am legitimately lost. Where can I get more workers? Rely less on materials, maybe? Crisis of epic proportions, man. That's what I'm telling you. Crisis of epic proportions here. Air transport hubs could help. Costs a lot of materials again, but I mean, like, it's a way of trying to save myself on workers. I need that. Good infrastructure can solve a lot of problems, right? Maybe. The disease has spread to another district, no surprise. Tension has now reached unacceptable levels. Completely unacceptable. Build a couple of fight clubs, quickly please, before it's over. I haven't been actually this tense in a game of Frostpunk in a while. We are in so much trouble, it's not even funny. A couple of air hubs might help a little. Come on, come on, come on. Get those fight clubs going before it's too late. Come on, burn that tension down, please, for God's sake. Should help a lot. Should help a lot. There we go. There we go. It's dropping. Okay, okay, okay. Doomsayer influence spreads, because of course it does. All right. But the air hubs are doing their jobs, so we're able to start putting out more people, a little bit anyway. So I'm still generating about 24 vaccines per week. That is just not a lot, is it? We could discriminate here against these guys again, and I will using my guard squads. We have enough ways of burning down tension. I think it's fine. So the less of these we have around, the better. The thing is, like, everything really is bad. So, like, it's not really so unreasonable to be like, the end has come. It kind of might have. I'm building so many hospitals all over the place trying to slow this down, man. Trying and failing. We've got to try working toward these pharmaceutical labs. It might help. It really might. I don't have the population for it still, but I mean, like, what else can I do? I'm gonna place down a couple of rail hubs in places where I'm able to. Maybe, just maybe I can boost up efficiency and start getting more vaccines. More people dying from the glaciophage. Doomsayers continuing to spread. The same districts they were in before. The problem is because everyone's unhappy, I can't continue suppressing these guys the way that I used to. It doesn't work. I'm stressed out, guys. I'm really stressed here. Crime is becoming notable because we have no goods, because I'm producing nothing but vaccines. Disease continues to be at a catastrophic level. Now we're out of food. Oh my god, it's all kind of collapsing, isn't it? It's all coming down. Oh my god, and we have a whiteout on the way too. You've got to be kidding me. Temperature's gonna drop by a whopping 50 degrees Celsius. 5 levels? I am doomed. Maybe part of the game really depends a little bit on, like, where does the disease spawn? Like, if it spawns in the center, are we just screwed? Right? Like, is that the issue? Like, there's... it's really hard to contain, whereas if it started, like, over here, it's like, that's not so bad. We could have found a way to make that work. Also, can you all please stop growing the freaking population faster than I can produce? Let's start rolling out some protective gear if we can. 20-something weeks of research to get there, though. Oh my god. Dude, this is hard. I am not even kidding. This is legitimately hard. We can build pharmaceutical laboratories if I had money, but this would help reduce disease. No! Too many citizens contaminated by the glaciophage. We failed! I can't remember the last time I failed in Frostpunk. Oh my god! Dude. Okay. There's clearly something else you're supposed to be doing here. I think a lot of it's gonna depend. Where does the disease start? Or I needed to be so much more aggressive with my exploration and find patient zero before it got too far. I can't think of another way I could have handled that. Like, I used the guards, I was trying to prevent the outbreaks, but people travel. So unless you can really clamp down with some sort of a quarantine and I missed it, I mean, that was really hard. And of course, the Doomsayers are certainly not helping, but they weren't the thing that was killing me. The disease straight out obliterated me. Overwhelmed by rot, Steward, we have failed. The sickness spread further than anyone expected. Too many fell ill and people started looking for someone to blame. Feeling betrayed by your choices, they said the city was lost because of you. Your people will try to rebuild and save as many afflicted as they can without you. You know, the funny thing is, though, our population was still growing faster than people were dying. Okay? I'm just saying, at the same time, you know, maybe that's another thing I could have changed. Literally changed some of the laws before the Doomsayers were around. At that point, nothing mattered. But change the laws so I stop growing my population until I get this under control. But then I wouldn't have had enough population and active workers to keep doing things, so I don't know, man. This scenario's tough. Damn. But you know what? I can't even be that mad. This reminds me of the Frostpunk that I love. The game that really pushes and challenges me. And I have to start thinking, maybe I do need to sacrifice a little bit of my humanity to survive this. And even if you do, you know you're getting by the skin of your teeth. That is Frostpunk in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. Right. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and, punish myself a little bit for not figuring that one out, but we will eventually, someday, figure that out. Holy crud, can you imagine the people who play this on Captain Difficulty with all 5 tails? Not even sure it's possible anymore, dude. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, despite the failure. It does happen once in a while. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, that notify bell. Don't forget that the LARP is going on in February, so take a look at that link, and I will see you guys next time.